Hey, what's up, everybody? Another evening of coffee with Den with beer. We do this at 8 p.m. now. So I'm going to bring the other Dave up, the one that didn't get scammed. And I think John might pop in. And if you want, you can pop in too. If you go to Den.Social, to the Coffee with Den layer, there's a link that the whole world can join. All 11 billion of you. So, all right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring David up. There he is, David. How you doing, David?
I'm here. I'm awake.
In a moment, we'll go through what happened. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And just like right on cue, I'll let him fix his camera for a minute, then we'll bring John up. So anyway, as you might have seen in the episode titled today, How to Get Scammed or How to Lose Your Dragons. That's going to be fun. I totally got raked over the coals, and it was my own fault.
It was clever, though. You gotta not feel that bad.
I mean, yeah, I do feel that bad, but I do feel a little bit better that I'm at least impressed with how it was done. You know,
that's most of the time when people show up at the shop and they tell me they got scammed in a really good way. I'm like, dude, you got to give them points, and they're always pissed off. They're just like, no, I don't want to give them points. And I'm like, but it was so clever.
So John hasn't heard the story. I've told you already, so I'll be able to tell him fresh, and he'll be able to make fun of how idiotic it was when I tell him what I did. So let's bring up John. John, what's up? Long time no see, bro. You're in a new place. You like moved and stuff.
I say, what in the hell is behind you? Shit, Art. We hear nothing.
Yeah, you're gonna have to learn sign language ASAP, really quick.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that was it.
There we go.
Yeah, I got a mute button on the mic. So I had to press the mute button so you could hear me.
Well, that's useful.
But I had to press it again so that way it wasn't muted.
Yeah, that's a really good troubleshooting tip that I used to tell people a lot. Have you tried the ONOFF button?
It's my favorite one.
That works.
What's the acronym that's like the problem between keyboard and chair? PEBCAC? Is that what it is, or something like that? The problem exists between keyboard and chair, or something like that.
Yeah, so we used to have all kinds of different acronyms that were made up when I was in the Navy because it was really specific to what we were doing. One of the roles was, so I was a fire controlman, which is like an electronics technician that only works on his own gear. But the unfortunate ETs, the unfortunate electronics technicians that had to work on everybody else's gear, they had to just deal with people, just operator error all the time. And so you had to take a log, quick story, of what the problem was, what the solution was, that kind of thing. And a lot of times the operator was an operations specialist or an OS. So you'd have things like PEBCAC error, right? And PEBCAC is problem exists between chair and keyboard. Or you would have faulty OS, which on its face seems like operating system, right?
Oh, no.
But the operations specialist is also called an OS. So it's like problem, faulty OS, solution, replaced OS. So on the log, it looks like you reinstalled software. But no, you just got a different person to use the machine. And it was solved. So yeah, all the time. Yeah, Pebcak's one of my favorite ones. So anyway, there's that. I had a Pebcak moment. Scammy McScammerson. I don't want to talk about it yet, so
You
we'll
want
get
to
to
know
it in a
about the
minute.
background? Like, what has John got behind him?
That's called art.
These are this was Dakota's office essentially, like all the stuff that was in her office. Now it's just books and stuff. It's a lot of books. Like that whole back wall is books. But we're still getting situated because basically what happened is we moved apartments, and then the next weekend. Let's see. No, we moved apartments, and then that weekend we had to go to DC for an improv festival that went really well, and it was a lot of fun. And then we got back, and then Dakota, and then we did like an improv thing, and then so like Tuesday, Dakota tested positive for COVID.
Oh God!
And I didn't test positive ever, but I had all of the symptoms and major headaches and all that kind of crap. So I don't know, my body just doesn't like tests or something, fails them all the time. But yeah, so like we kind of just had
the same problem.
We're still unpacking. I'll put it that way.
You've been, I know the struggle, man. I've been doing that.
It's gonna be like
for a while myself,
but it'll be fine. I'm fine with it.
I have a similar thing.
My house makes sense. It's organized. It's great.
It actually is. I was in there recently. It's fucking immaculate. I was impressed. No, John, I had a similar situation with the COVID thing where Tina got sick and she tested positive and she got the COVID, but I never did. Like, and I was like eating with the same spoon after her and like sleeping in the same bed and kissing on her, and never got sick. And my vaccine worked.
I got sick. It was
mine was similar but better situation because I didn't get sick. I also didn't test positive. That's the similarity part.
Your life was just fine.
So really, your story is that you just didn't, like, you haven't gotten COVID.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't know if I've ever gotten. I mean, I got sick one time and I didn't test, so that might have been it. But I don't know. I don't know if I ever did. If I ever got it. It may be all of those vaccines I got in the Navy. Now I just have like super immune system.
You've been like actually, that's a good point. You got hit with everything at that point. It was like a regiment of get stabbed by the government.
Like anthrax, like everything.
I wonder how many of those are still like actively working in your system.
I don't know.
Like, are you just sort of immune to shit now?
Tina thinks I am because when I get sick, I get sick, but either I get sick badly or I don't get sick very often, so it seems bad to me, and I just am a crybaby.
Don't sick that often, now that I think about it. No, we're men. When we're sick, we are children immediately. We devolve into like, please take care of me.
How long did it take you, John, to get through that?
I mean, I was in rough shape for like 5 or 6 days, but then like for me, like I was just like then out of breath, like for just anything. So like, for you to do anything in your house, you've got to like kind of crawl through boxes and stuff. So like you got to move them. I'm like, it's work for me to get out of bed. Like maybe my headache isn't as bad and maybe like my cough isn't as bad, but just like everything was just
the
like
fatigue.
Yeah, I did something like, I just ran a marathon. That's what it felt
good God.
This is going to sound like some bullshit, but I swear it's not. I had that experience for like, and it got better over time, but for like 10 months after my last booster shot. And I think maybe it was so effective. That's why I didn't get sick whenever Tina was sick or something. But I had that fatigue.
COVID. You just didn't. You didn't. Yeah. That's when you had it.
The fatigue thing was real.
It was.
Like people bitch about the boosters and the vaccines making them sick and stuff. Mine were fine. I've had 4 of them. I've had 2 boosters. The last booster, the Omicron variant booster, I swear it was like months of like, why am I tired all the time? But then I got over it. But it took a long time. It was not okay.
They gave you entirely too much
something.
The secret sauce. They were like, oh crap, we just kind of gave this guy COVID.
It was at a government facility because I used the VA
Oh,
for
God.
my benefits. Could have
Okay,
been,
for a test subject. Now we're
yeah,
being monitored.
MK Ultra test subject or something.
You mean that thing that didn't happen but definitely happened?
Oh no, it happened now. It used to not
That
have
one's
happened.
not
Now
gonna
it happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that like we said didn't happen for a long time, and then the CIA was like, yeah, okay, it happened.
Yeah, all right. Maybe we gave a bunch of people syphilis, all right? And maybe we drugged a bunch of people up with
Is that syphilis?
Yes, it's a bottle of syphilis. It's
yeah,
Bronze,
everyone's
white.
favorite.
Belgian triple. Bronze
Oh,
and
should I
child.
go get a beer? I don't even really drink beer anymore. Should I go get a beer?
You don't
now?
have to go get a beer. You
So
can
I
you
got
can
this
do
beer.
whatever you want. You can be whatever you want to be. Also,
That's
you said you moved apartments, which is depressing to me.
Not really. So like, this one's cheaper. Like,
Are you still in the clouds?
we're still in the clouds.
Oh,
We
thank
went
God.
from 36 to 33,
Oh, okay.
and instead of looking at that view of the Hudson, I don't know how well you can see.
It's still completely
It's awesome.
fine. All right, gotcha.
That's
Yep.
actually
That's
arguably
cool.
more interesting to me.
Yeah,
That's way cooler at night.
We-
God, New York is cool.
we look the other way. I look at the Freedom Tower all day.
That's so
Like,
much better. That's
and
so
then-
much better.
Yeah, and then instead of looking north, I just look down the Hudson south.
The river's cool and all, but I like that cityscape.
Yeah,
It's like cyberpunk, man.
that's
You got
really
some-
nice.
It does.
Yeah,
It's
because
got that like cybery feel to it.
the other view was basically
Blade Runner.
like the other view was Upper West Side, and now this is like our view is like Chelsea, Tribeca, Battery Park, like I can see the Statue of Liberty, Jersey
I'm
City.
kind of surprised that that's cheaper.
We went from like a 2-bedroom 2-bath to a 2-bedroom 1-bath, and that's why it's cheaper.
So all you did was cut out a bathroom?
We got rid of a bathroom and like 25 square feet or something.
And what? Okay, just because I need to know.
Don't
What
ask
did
him
that
that question.
save?
You don't
What did
want.
that save?
I'll type it in chat.
Type it in chat. Yeah, don't tell me that. Oh my God!
Wait, what is this number?
That's a nice bathroom.
That's how much you saved or how much you're paying?
That's how much we saved.
That's how much you saved?
Dave's over here like, I haven't thought about New York apartment prices in a long time.
That's legitimately
Yeah, you have
that's legitimately a little bit more than the lease I just signed for a whole ass house.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I was in
You live
DC,
like this beautiful little Adams family, not Adams family, this beautiful.
I remember when I was
country house now.
Yeah, when I lived in DC, it was like that. Though we had a 1-bedroom apartment, and it was like it was in the expensive part of town, just because that's where I wanted to live, and it was like that. It was that kind of thing.
Do you remember being so mad about that as soon you called me while you were moving in, and you were just like, "This apartment, I have a window and I can see some cool stuff, but it's so goddamn expensive." You were so mad.
It was dope though, because I looked over Capitol Hill. I could see the Washington Monument. 4th of July and New Year's, like they had just my balcony was just there to watch I was looking at the fireworks.
Yeah, you called me because Fallout. You were like, "I'm looking at Fallout
awesome.
3 right now, like pre-war."
Yeah, they did a good job on the subway system too. That honeycomb pattern that they have, it's great.
Oh,
Good job.
God, I forgot about those.
I told you I
subway
was
systems.
I was in DC the other day, a couple weeks ago, and we went to this bar called The View. It's in the Washington Hotel. Do you know the place?
No, I imagine they had a good view, or there was a TV show being filmed.
You look out, and it's just the Washington Monument.
Nice.
And then you
Oh,
look
that's sick.
down, and it's the Capitol. And wait, was it the Capitol or the White House? Oh, you look down to the White House and then the executive branch offices. I forget what.
Yeah,
So
that
what
would've
you're
been the White
telling
House, yeah.
me is that if I needed a really good vantage point for no reason on that, then there would be an easy way to do that. Somebody's banging on my door. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go do it. No, I think they would probably notice, you're in a crowded room with a bunch of people, would notice things being shifty.
Yeah, it was in a bar, so I don't think
Don't mind me. Hey, around on everybody. Everybody, just don't look at me over here. No, that's not going to work.
Everybody go back to what you were doing. Yeah.
They've got, did you go down to the White House when you were over there? You looked at it though from the view.
We did. We walked by like the front of it. We went and had like.
When I was there, they had it all
Did you order that?
gated off.
Mm-mm.
Was it your neighbor?
No, it just showed up.
No, I know who it is though, so I'm assuming my friend Alexandra is on her way.
Oh, that's the notification you get.
Yeah, that's the notification I'm getting about that.
Usually you call somebody or send them a text message. No, Alexandria sends pizza ahead, and that's how you know they're coming over.
Is it even? It's like it is a her pizza too. Like it's vegan cheese and shit, so it's nothing I'm gonna put in my body.
Since when did that's okay? That's Little Caesars, right?
No, this is like Blaze.
Oh, I just saw the orange, and I
thought it was a Little Caesars pizza too. I was like, did somebody order a Little Caesars delivered? Because that would be obscenely expensive compared to like $5 pizza.
Well, yeah, John was like, since when did Little Caesars start doing vegan cheese?
I'm surprised they're not doing vegan options, to be honest. They might be.
Hey, they're $5 ready to go though. Hot and ready. Shout out to Little Caesars.
But there's a reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm spoiled with the New York pizza.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I've been eating a lot of food lately. I had the benefit of, so I'm in an Airbnb still. I signed a lease on my house, but I'm not moving in
from my hand when I was there
for like probably another 2 weeks. I'm not there, so I'm still in a bedroom in a house with some roommates. And I got a new roommate that's here for several months, named Giacomo from Italy. And I've had the best time being like, here's some American food. Check out barbecue. Check out, we don't know what buffalo wings. Let's go to this buffalo wing place.
Oh, I bet that's
it's been awesome.
Blast.
It's been great. Yeah.
You just become friends with everyone you meet, and it's wild to me.
It's what I do, man. It's what I do. If I can't be friends, like, what's the point?
That's a good point.
I guess
so you want to tell us
I'll at least try that and see what happens. I'm not friends with everybody.
I don't know.
But I'm willing to be friends with most people.
I think it's more fun to like slowly lead somebody towards their own demise.
Without them knowing.
Yeah, just like subtly plant thoughts in the back of their mind subconsciously.
Is that not just what friendship is?
Yeah,
I am sometimes
slowly driving them insane just to see what happens.
I am sometimes tempted to like if I'm showing someone that's foreign, like American stuff, to just completely make some shit up and lie and be like, oh yeah, this is, a cultural thing. We do this in the US, that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Talking about fucking with people though. Our friend Lydia, I used to live with over in High Springs, and there was a picture or a mirror or something in the house. And every time I went by it, I would make sure it was crooked.
Poor Lydia.
For months. And then she would like straighten it back up, and then I would make it crooked again. And it was just like, she just thought it was like, man, I just can't get this thing to be straight. Until eventually I told her. So I have done small things like that. Also, I've put up
social experiments on people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's like a trait of, maybe we're sociopaths in a way. That's the way Jackie usually puts it. But it's like, I can't not. Anytime I have a lot of like people that I hang out with, I'm like, how do I not run an experiment on these people while
I just have a weird sense of humor, I think. I did the same thing when I was in that apartment in DC. I went to Target and I got one of those family photo frames that has like the different photo whatever, and it says family or whatever. But I left all the stock photos in it.
The stock photos?
And I put it up on the wall. And a couple of times people will be like, and like it's mostly white people, but then there's like an Indian couple of children, like siblings.
There's like an Indian kid?
Yeah. And so like people would be looking at it, and I'd see them. It was my favorite thing. We'd have guests over, and then invariably somebody would just be checking out the family photos.
Like,
and they'd be like, who's the Indian kids?
Who's that? And it's like, I don't know. I left these guys in the front. Have you ever seen The Room? That awful movie with it's a oh god, who is it? Tommy Wiseau. He made like his masterpiece, and it's literally awful. Yeah. They bought a frame to use in this film, and for some reason in the frame, it's a framed picture of a spoon. Like that was the stock thing. So in the whole movie, it's just sitting on the table, just a framed picture of a spoon. And I kind of want to do that and put it somewhere in my house.
I think I've told you about this before. I think we've had the same conversation, probably like a year ago. But I want to take. So you go on Facebook and you find old family pictures from somebody, and then you put those in frames.
I think I do vaguely remember
it's
you
like,
saying something like that.
Say Meemaw, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah, man.
David.
Crazy. Or you take pictures of them when they were younger, and you put that around your house. Because like when you see a picture of you as a kid, it's always like, is that me? I think it is, but like, you know what I mean? And then the other one is you take pictures of them currently in your house, and then you go and print them out. You get like a
while they're there.
While they're there.
Yeah, while they're there, and then you put them in. It's like, remember this? Remember this time? This is a great moment. John, this was like 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago. What
the first opportunity you get when they're like, hey, where's your bathroom? You're like, yes, it's over there. So as soon as they go in the bathroom, you're like, print, train, put it up on the wall.
Shitting. Is that what you're saying? As soon as they go to the bathroom, you picture them shitting.
I was just going to say it's an opportunity to like put it up without them looking. No, I wasn't assuming that you had a weird hidden camera in the bathroom. But now I'm never going to visit you.
Like, what if
it came out? It's not hidden.
Imagine they come out of their bathroom and hanging right in front of them is a picture of them shitting like 2 minutes prior.
Yeah. As soon as they go in the like when they're in the bathroom, you just don't have a bathroom door that locks in your house, or it's a fake lock. Okay, so as soon as their shit,
just whip in with a Polaroid.
You open the door, you whip it open, and then you're like booga booga, and then somebody else takes the picture, and then you go print that.
You wait until they like can't do anything about it. You wait for the plop, and they're like, "All right, now's the chance."
You hear the flush, and you're just like, "Here we go."
Oh my god,
that's David, you want to tell John about what you did with the photo that was in your mom's house?
Oh my god, for 4-ish years, my mom had this like china cabinet, and there was like 4 pictures of me in school, like first, second, third, fourth. So I picked the top right one, and I took the picture out of it, and I replaced it with a picture of Kim Jong-un, so dictator of North Korea, and I hung it up there. I assume, just for the people that might not, I know you know.
I know who Kim Jong-un is.
So I left it there, and I assumed that it would be there for several days. 4 years is how long she had a picture of Kim Jong-un on the wall, and she never noticed it until I pointed it out. And she was like, I had people over. And I was like, oh, they think you support Kim Jong-un. I'm sorry. I thought you knew about this. I went over one day, and I was like, wait, that's still there?
A lot of people don't know this, but he actually starred in the movie The Diplomat.
The Diplomat? I don't think I saw it. I saw what was the Seth Rogen film about North Korea?
That's the one I'm trying
Dictator.
to think of. Oh, that's what it was. The Dictator. Oh, fuck it.
The Dictator.
Like that.
No. Was it The Dictator?
Yeah. Or something like that. The documentary Dictator movie with.
Was it one of the shitty Borat movies where they got like Rudy Giuliani in a room?
First of all, no Borat movie is shitty.
Yeah, I retract that statement actually.
But that happened and not more shit come of it now. Like I feel like there's to be some.
He was just fixing his shirt, bro. He was just fixing his shirt. He had to lay down on the bed in the hotel room,
take off his belt buckle,
and take off his belt buckle for it, so he could get he could reach in there real nice.
It was very much so overshadowed by the whole Capitol insurrection thing.
Well, it's like this whole well, there's just now. So I think that we live in such a fast-paced society that things have always been super slow. Now, I don't think Rudy Giuliani is ever going to have anything come of that. I'm not trying to say that, but there are things that are finally coming around that you're seeing that happened a long time ago. Like recently, a court finally decided that Donald Trump had defrauded banks and investors as part of his real estate practice.
Yeah.
And I was just like, well, yeah, like he kind of bragged about it too. He wrote books being like, just don't pay them.
Yeah, just fuck them. Just don't pay them. You don't need to pay people for the work they did.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
And like, it's one thing to rely on bankruptcy law and financial law to like get you out of sticky positions so you can get on with your life as they're designed. But if you do that premeditated, where you plan on doing that ahead of time, that runs into a little bit of a different story. So that's, I think what's happening there. But that's like years and years ago. And it's finally something's coming around about it. So a lot of this stuff, it just drags out for you. For example, I'm in a class action that I've been in since it's been almost 4 years now. And it's just like process. It's just like dragging it out years and years. So maybe, all I'm saying is maybe some shit does come out of it. I don't know. But things right now are so fast paced that we feel like it takes longer than it really does, even though it really does take a long time already. That's my theory anyway. That's what I think.
That's a good speech.
That's my
How
white
does
pill
that
on it.
beer not make you feel like garbage in the morning?
So, okay, good question. So you've been angry at me for drinking sours. So
Yes.
I switched.
Well, not angry, just
My next one
entirely.
is going to be Sour Monkey. That's what I got lined up.
What's
But
wrong with
this one-
sours? Sours are delicious.
They're great.
Listen,
So-
there's something wrong with wanting to drink a beer that tastes like apple cider vinegar.
No, there's not. People actually drink apple cider vinegar too. It just depends on your taste.
People also shoot other people for fun.
Yeah,
and
there's a
then
whole
get
variety of favorite pastimes on the planet.
Humans are strange,
Yeah,
That's
people
a
like
fucking
different
weird
things.
thing.
Don't
So
you
this
drink-
is
Don't you drink IPAs, David?
Sometimes.
Yeah. What's a fucking IPA besides just a like bitter old shit in a bottle?
Oh, yeah, no, you're correct. It's pine needles in a cup, and it's yeah.
So
the
like,
one
what's
that
weird
David's
about a
drinking
sour?
right now. It's just a different slap in the face, different punch in the face. Different
Really?
flavor.
Dale's.
So Dale's is
Good old
this is the
Dale.
one. There's a handful of them that make me really sick immediately. And I've talked about this before, but I have like a weird allergy with hops or something. Dale's Pale Ale is one of them.
Oh, that sucks.
But to answer your question, this is a triple Belgian. It's not hoppy. They threw a whole bunch of malt in it to make it higher
gonna
alcohol
say-
content.
Okay.
So it's
It's like a-
malt liquor.
No, it's a malty beer.
So yeah. So you know that's the
So it's
equivalent
malt
of
liquor.
drinking- That's the equivalent of drinking natural ice.
It is not, because you know how much natural ice costs and how
And
much
ice
this
house.
costs?
What was
Ice
that?
house.
Was that like
Ice
an
house.
$8 beer?
It was $12 for 4
Jesus, that's not too
And-
bad, Nick.
at a discount grocery store too. There's a place called Lidl.
my.
It's a German grocery store. They have a sign that threw me off at first. It said suspiciously low prices. And I was like, I wasn't suspicious, but now I
am
feel like I
now.
should be.
I feel a little concerned. Like, why are your prices so? They're out like jacking trucks in the middle of the night to make get their overhead no problem.
I was like, I don't know if that's a good slogan. Suspiciously low prices. I don't know. You sell like meat and stuff. Now I'm suspicious.
I like that. Could be fraud. Like that's just
It might be illegal.
But it's cheap.
don't tell. Like I don't know.
It could be butter. Perhaps it's butter.
Instead of I can't believe it's not butter, it's the off-brand. So I can't believe it's not butter. Butter is brand name. They can't use that one, so they have their own label. It's perhaps it's butter.
Just
maybe.
it could be butter.
It's just like I promise it's not butter and it won't make you sick. Is the whole.
I would buy that if somebody printed that on a butter container. I'd be like, you know what, fine. Like
I
at
would
least
be-
this one's being honest with me.
I would be suspicious that it would make me sick. If somebody's like, "Look, if you eat this, you'll be fine. You're not gonna get sick."
Why do you have to reassure me?
Yeah.
Speaking of fraud,
Holy shit!
you guys want to hear about how I got defrauded?
You got for fucked is what you
Yeah.
got.
So, short version is I got tricked into clicking a button, and that button was "Give me all your money," and the button was like, "Here, take all my money," right? So, if you're not familiar, yeah, it's a really clever button. It is. So, with cryptocurrency and stuff, you have this thing called self custody, meaning you're responsible for your own shit. And if you give it to somebody, there's nobody to call and say, hey, they stole from me. Can you reverse the transaction? Which is one of the things that people are uneasy about because of shit like this. So there's a project that I've been sort of working with. I run like a bunch of nodes for different projects. I like to be part of the network and get rewarded for, having a service node. I do it for Dragon Chain. I do it for Oxen. I do it for, several different blockchains. And one of them it's called Chainflip. And they have been getting ready to distribute tokens to people like me who have been supporting them for a while. And the idea is we have to get ready. We have to use these tokens to shove them into these service nodes to give them the ability to operate on the network, right? But the point is, it's something I've been waiting on. It's one of those phishing emails where they say, don't click on something that you're not expecting from somebody that you're unfamiliar with, right? So number one, it was a message from somebody I was expecting a message from that looked just like this. So what they did was they compromised that company's server, the website, their Discord, and all that. And they put out this announcement. They're like, hey, we know you've all been waiting for this because they're late a little bit on distributing the token. They're like, hey, finally, we're done. We're going to distribute the tokens, right? And so I am tired. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to bed. I get this notification on my stupid phone, which if I didn't have my notifications turned on, I wouldn't have got scammed. So I'm going to bed. I get notification. And they're like, hey, we're doing the thing. Follow these instructions to get your coins, to get your tokens. And I'm like, fine, let me do this, and then I'll go to bed. It's like the last thing I do before I go to bed. And so I roll out, I open my laptop, I log in, and I go to the website where it's like, okay, go to this website. So I go to the website, and I even have the thought in the back of my mind, like, it's not the official domain, right? It's not Chainflip, it's claimsflip.com. So I'll go to claimsflip.com, and a small part of me is starting to have little alarm bells off already, but I'm still going through the motions. They have used third-party websites and services in the past, right? To the point where I'm literally thinking, man, they got to stop using these third-party services or someone's going to get scammed, right? So it's familiar. I'm waiting. It is from somebody I'm expecting. It's a message I've been waiting on. And it's a pattern that I'm used to. Sending you to a third-party website. This is how they did their initial registration for signing up in the first place, right? So I'm like, all right, claims flip. Yeah, it's cheeky, whatever. The website looks good. Like it was well written. Looks great. So if you've ever traded like Ethereum for a different token on Uniswap, when you go to an exchange, there's a very common thing that you have to do, which is click a button and it says that you're giving the smart contract authorization to basically spend your tokens on your behalf. This is how these DEXs work. So I click this button on this like claim thing. And like I said, I'm tired. Of course, I'm making excuses right now. I'm spreading the blame around, but I click the button and it says, do you want to authorize this to number one, spend your token or something, and number two, add a different network. And I'm scratching my head and like, well, it is along the lines of what they do. They're like a cross-chain trading thing. And I just, as soon as I clicked the button, I felt like a pit in my stomach. Like, this is dangerous. And this is kind of, I don't know. So I go to, also, before I clicked it, I went to their website, to their official website. And I just wanted to make sure that I had the right Discord server, right? That I wasn't on some like Discord server that was set up to look like theirs. Because you can invite people to random servers on like Telegram and Discord and stuff. Yeah. So I did that, and I clicked on the official link to make sure it was their server. But that didn't matter because the person had compromised their website too, to make sure that it was still legit. So I click the button, and then it gets me to a second page where it wants me to authorize something else. And at this point, I'm like, whoa, hang on. And I go to Twitter, and I go to their Twitter profile, and there's like an 11-minute old message that says, don't click anything in our Discord server. We have been compromised. And I'm like, fuck. So I go to Etherscan and punch in my address, because Etherscan is a website where you can go and track Ethereum transactions.
Yeah.
And I find this here transaction. And here's where it gets really interesting to me. So here's Etherscan, right? So all that, I click the button. I'm tired. It looks legit. I get tricked. I click the button. And then I go to Etherscan. So I punch in my address, and I find this transaction. And so you have from me to this contract here. And then if you hit more details, and you come down here, there's the input.
Ooh, we got examples?
Right. So here's what they did. There's this function right here where if you click decode input data, it'll tell you what the function is. I don't know if you can read. Let me zoom in. What it did, when I clicked the button, is that it added as a spender this address. Now, this address is really interesting.
That's so goddamn clever.
Here, I'll show you why it's clever. This address is really interesting because when I was interacting with it, there was a message that popped up, and this address was displayed as the address that I was interacting with. On most like wallet interfaces, on most UIs, I think even maybe on Etherscan. Let me check. Let's see if I can find an example. Yeah, right here. So you see this address here where there's dots in the middle? It's got a long number and then dot, 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 and the rest of it.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you have the first 4 and the last 4 digits, and everything in the middle is dots. So if you're on, if you open up MetaMask, which I can't because it doesn't show correctly, but if you're on MetaMask, you see the first 4, the last 4, and then dots in the middle. On this address, the way that showed up was 0000 dot, 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 and then 0000 at the end, which is a very common address that everybody's used to seeing. It's the burn address. If you ever burn tokens or you hear people talking about burning tokens, they'll send it to the 0 address. It's just like 16 zeros in a row, and nobody has the keys to it. And so if anything goes to it, they're lost forever. So you're burning your tokens. But sometimes you'll see that pop up as part of like, basically people would think of it as kind of the Ethereum system addressed doing stuff. So my brain didn't immediately freak out because it was like, oh, it's doing something with the 0 address. Mind you, it looks like this, like when it pops up in MetaMask, because MetaMask doesn't do a very good job of showing you what it does. So it just shows you some jibber jabber. And you're like, okay, I don't know what this is. So anyway, it shows up as this address. It looks like the burn address. My mind doesn't freak out until after I click the button, just long enough. And the reason I think that's interesting is because to be able to use that address, they had to brute force the private keys to that address. That is a legitimate Ethereum address. So like if that was my address and you wanted to be able to spin stuff from it, typically you would have to spend thousands of years to get the keys to that exact address. But since they only needed just any address that began and ended with zeros, they only had to brute force an address to 8 digits and not 16 or not however many. So that's what they did. They brute forced the keys to an address that looks recognizable to people who aren't paying attention. And they used that after they compromised this Discord server, after they compromised the website, after they built a website that looks really legit with a Web3 interface, really clean, nice website. And then here's the kicker. When they did this, the only thing that in my wallet that they authorized themselves to spend were my fucking Dragon tokens, my Dragon Chain tokens. So they either had a script running that picked whichever token you had the most value of in your wallet and assigned it to that, because otherwise they would have to do like a different, you have to click the button for each token. Or since they compromised Chainflip's server, they had a list of people that were waiting for these tokens, which I suspect is probably what happened. And so they pre-configured, okay, if these addresses click the button, then authorize this token, because they already know what wallets are involved. Lucky for me, I don't have everything in one wallet. I don't have everything all like in one basket. So while they did take thousands of dollars worth of dragons, it wasn't everything, luckily. So they did this, and then the next transaction, so this is authorized, and then at this point, I know what happened, and I'm like, all I can do is watch the Ethereum blockchain and watch my dragons get sucked out into oblivion. So here's about $4,000 worth of Dragon Chain tokens that they took out of my wallet, they transferred to themselves, and then immediately started dumping on Uniswap. So you can just, this is like for the next 2 hours, I'm like going through and I'm doing three things. I'm watching this, and I'm deauthorizing them as a spender on my wallet, and I'm moving shit out of my wallet to other wallets, like stuff that I care about. And then, so I did all that, and then I moved all the Ethereum out of my wallet, so there's no gas left, so they can't like spend anything else. But by that time, if you look at the Dragon Chain token right now, it's still, to this moment, like, the interesting thing is that there's actually volume on Dragon Chain now, trading volume, because whoever it is obfuscating their identity. And still, every few minutes, there's trades on Dragon, right? For the last 3 days, there's been like trade after trade after trade after trade. So the interesting part is like it actually brought volume to the Dragon token through fraud.
I was gonna say, wait, that's technically not a bad thing, right?
Well, it's bad for me. Yeah,
well, it's bad for you, but like overall,
it's bad for me. But there's actually trading volume, because there's like all of this automated trading going on to hide the origins and like where it goes to, so the person can then eventually, not be traced back to the theft. And I don't know, it's interesting. So that's basically what happened. Is I clicked the stupid button because it looked legit to me at the moment.
And at least you didn't call a phone number because it said that your computer was infected.
That's true.
Okay,
but I feel like that person
adding trading volume. That's wild. I mean, you got nailed pretty cleverly. I don't think I'd feel too bad about it.
So it was targeted. It was definitely like the people that they knew were waiting for a certain thing. Like they knew I was on a list of people that were waiting for the flip token, because I want my flips so that I can run my chain flip node, which is proof of stake.
And like, so, we're computer techs overall. Like, I mean, I do it for a living. You built missiles and shit. You're smart. We're computer techs.
Which is why I was embarrassed that I clicked it.
I like to think that we're pretty like well aware of this stuff, but I wonder if it just lets us have our guard down way more all the time.
Right. It's like, oh, it wouldn't happen to me. I'm too smart for that.
I didn't expect that. Good afternoon, Mr. Cerebral. How are you?
But yeah, so luckily I got stuff in different wallets. I've got like 12 different wallets. I don't keep it all on the same one. It was my oldest account. But they did not get my private keys. Yeah. They did not get my private keys. All they did was they authorized themselves as a spender for Dragon tokens on that one wallet or that one address, which I have since revoked. But out of an abundance of caution, I'm not trusting that wallet at all, even though they didn't get my private keys.
I wonder if it's somebody that's like on Den.
No, it's not related
Cerebral. It was sinfully cerebral. That's who it was.
to Den. Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it was specifically related to chain flip, is what it was. They got compromised because I wasn't the only one, and they didn't. It isn't like they only stole my dragons. They stole other tokens from other chain flip people, right? So it was not targeted at Dragon Chain. It was not targeted at Den. It was only
to them for getting you. I mean,
yeah, and it wasn't only targeted at me. It was other people too. So it's nothing to do with Den.
See, that's wild. Like
Cerebral's off the hook.
You're probably actually, now that I think about it, because you called me and you told me about this right after it happened or the day after it happened. I think you're probably one of the only people I would call and be like, "Guess who got dicked?" Which would be me.
You ain't gonna believe this shit.
John's opening a computer actively in the background.
Yeah, that's phase 2. We have live tech support.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I got to tell you how to plug some memory in or some shit.
Oh, what did you say? What did you say I was doing? Did you hear me moving?
Actively opening a computer.
How did you know? Oh,
because I saw a side panel.
Okay, so here's the computer, right?
Oh boy. Oh yeah, it's fine.
So I got some Patriot memory because I'm Patriot.
I've seen way worse.
All right, that's the box.
Right?
Yep.
Where the hell? Where do these things go?
You got to pop the 2 out that you've already got in there.
Okay, so I can't have 4 in.
No.
So
it looks like your board's only got 2 sticks.
Do you have a flashlight?
Yeah. 1 second.
There's probably not room for them.
Yeah, it looks like a business board. Yep. So, like, did you buy 2 sticks that are the same size as the ones you already have?
I'm trying to remember. I think they're the same size. So, like, my buddy was like, "All right, so when I play video games, I run my computer's at like 90% memory or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's been like the graph, like it's just been running a little choppy. So my buddy was like, "Hey, just buy some more memory for it." These are like,
God, I hate that advice so much.
And he's like, "These are the same kind that you have, like blah 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 blah. Like you should have room for it."
He probably didn't expect you to have a dual stick board. Most people have like a quad channel for you can do 4 sticks.
He's also the person that helped me decide all the things for this computer when I built it. So it is where it is. And I don't.
Are you sure that's not like double the memory or something? Like, do you only have 8 and that's a 16 gig kit or something?
So I don't remember what I have in here now. So I got.
You should find out.
Remember how to open it.
Right click on that there thingy in the bottom left hand corner and hit this PC, I think. Is that what it is now? Why is I am not gracing us with his wonderful
dinner party.
Oh, that's right. He's doing that whole dinner party. Steaks? You lucky shit.
This PC? What are you talking about?
If you right click on the start menu, is there a place that says like, you know, what is it in Windows 11 or Windows 10 now?
It's called this PC. Yeah.
Yeah, it's this PC.
Or computer properties, or sometimes if you go to like.
All right, I got it.
Yeah.
And then I click on what?
You should be able to see a memory list in there somewhere.
Are you on? Is that the same machine that you're on?
Can you show us your screen?
Yeah, that's the same machine that I'm on.
Like, hang on. Yeah, show us your screen.
Present, share screen.
Yeah, get rid of all your porn, minimize that,
and
then show us your screen.
Put your balls away. We know you have a live camera always aimed at them, so we need to make sure we don't see.
We heard about the bathroom cam already earlier.
Oh yeah, that's not installed yet. It's coming.
He's got couch butthole cams.
There it is. All right, can you see that?
No, we see nothing.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, Dave, it's you. You're on this one. All right.
So, yeah.
If you right-click on this PC, where it says this PC.
Here.
Nope, I don't think so. Farther down. I'm pointing like an idiot. There you go. Right-click on that and hit Properties.
All right, cool.
If it worked. I didn't see the right-click menu, so I don't know if it's actually going to show that.
I might have to share that.
Yeah, you gotta share that individually.
Cool.
This is
That's
fun.
That's the one you want. That's the one you want, though. You're doing good.
Cool.
So I've got this is 8 of installed RAM. So I guess if I put this
Okay.
in,
Okay, so you're doubling it.
Yeah, if it's 16, then hell yeah, that's gonna be worth it.
yeah. And this
So
is
you'll shut down. You'll pop the ones out that are in there, and you'll put those in their place. The end.
Yeah.
And they're honestly they feel kind of weird when you plug them in. A lot of people get weary about it. I've had people bring me their computers with RAM that's not snapped in before. You just make sure the 2 little clips on the top and bottom. Sometimes they don't have a bottom one, but you just make sure the clip is open, and you just put it in and put a finger on the top and the bottom and just push, and it'll make a nice little snap.
Does it matter that it's dual channel memory or no?
It'll be no. Once you put it in, it'll probably default to dual channel, which will just make it run a little bit smoother. Actually, a substantial.
That's what you want. Everything's dual channel now. Everything's DDR. That's what the D in DDR means.
Oh, that's right. Because S and for the SODIMMs were single before that. I forgot about that. What are you meowing at?
Am I gonna lose everything that's like on? Like I'm not gonna lose anything. I don't know.
So there's nothing. There's nothing in your RAM. So every time you shut your computer off, your RAM gets wiped.
Super
anyway.
common question though, so don't feel bad.
Yeah.
Everybody asked me that. Do it.
Whenever you get the old ones out,
come back.
That little clip he was talking about, there's like a little tab when you take the old stuff out. You'll feel it on one end. When you press the tab, it pops your RAM out. I feel like David's gonna just go grab a board and
I
show
think
us.
I've done this, but I've like literally done this before, so I think I know how it works. And that board is super easy. I should just turn off my computer by the time he's back and we're done.
It's fine.
I don't have a board.
All right.
You're good.
Do it.
I'll be right back.
Shut down, fix it, and tell us if it worked.
All right. Or it might be some OS problems. We'll see.
All right. John's gone for the rest of the show.
What
His computer needs to be fine.
We'll see you next week.
Luckily, with RAM, it's damn near plug and play. It doesn't need.
Yeah. I was making a joke to earlier when he was like saying an OS problem.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that. That's clever. Okay, well done. Good job.
Thanks for explaining the joke. Because I had forgotten.
Blame Jen.
So cool.
I like that. That's the picture that we're left with.
Oh, is it just froze there now like that?
Oh, that's so.
You should just leave it.
Yeah, I like it.
Just leave it.
That's John now.
Sounds like your pizza consumer is here.
Oh, she is there. Is she audible?
Yeah, it's fine. All right, so here's what we're gonna do
in a nutshell.
I've told my little story.
I'm so glad you didn't get you only got mildly fucked. You didn't get that bad.
It was $4,000.
Okay, but look, we know. All right, I don't mean this to sound bad, but we know some of the quantities of cryptocurrency you and I have done stuff with, like with some of the stuff we've done.
I'll put it this way.
It could be way shittier.
Hang on a second. I'll put it this way. Let me do a little math here.
Oh no.
So we all know that Dragon Chain's market value has gone down a lot, especially because of the last 4 years of SEC meddling.
Let's just say thanks, SEC.
Yeah. So they've been messing for the last 4 years or so. They've been struggling with having to juggle managing the company and managing legal costs and deciphering these nebulous SEC statements, right? And all of this has created a lot of uncertainty. They call it FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And a lot of folks are not fucking with Dragon Chain right now because they don't know which way that's going to go. So the price has gone down and down and down as people get uneasy about what the resolution might be with the SEC thing, right? So I say that to say this. My average on the token, a lot of people are in a way worse position than me, but my average on the token is about 4 cents. If we assume my average, how much I paid, to acquire the tokens, it would have been $22,000 that they took. And it's not even about the dragons, right? It's not even about the money. It's about the way that Dragon Chain works. And actually, this is a really good illustration of the security mechanism behind time. So the way Dragon Chain works is it's similar to proof of stake when you're running nodes, except you don't actually use the dragons themselves as what you're staking to your service nodes for security. And what I mean is you have to have some mechanism in a decentralized network. You have to have some mechanism to know who you can trust and who you can't when everyone's anonymous. So what we do is for every one dragon token that you hold, you get one time. It's a thing called time every single day. So if I have one dragon and I hold it for a year, I end up having 365 time. That time is what's applied to your node for security, right? So the more time you have, the more trusted you are on the network, and also the more rewards you get whenever someone sends a transaction through, you get more of their like gas fee. So the interesting thing about time, and the reason it's used this way, or one of the reasons it's used this way, is unlike, let's say, Ethereum is proof of stake, right? Or Oxen is proof of stake, or something else. If you go and get a bunch of those tokens, let's say you got a bunch of money and you want to attack a network, you can go buy a bunch of Ethereum, you can go buy a bunch of Oxen or something, and you can apply those to like nodes that run on the network, and then they can be evil nodes. And if you get enough of those evil nodes, you can control the network, and you can move people's money around if you get more than half of the network. And all you theoretically have to do is buy a whole bunch of those tokens to own more than half of the network weight. But with Dragon Chain, with using time, if someone steals my tokens, they can't just like use them to apply to their nodes to attack the network.
Because their time is like 0 at that point, right?
Yes.
Just like if you move it.
Yeah.
So
what happens is if you ever move from the address where they sit, if you ever move those tokens to another address, the associated time, in other words, the time that was generated from holding those tokens, gets wiped out completely. It gets erased. No chance of recovery, the end. So these have been there for years, right? That was 500,000 or 600,000 tokens.
That's right. You had a shitload of time on there.
Yeah, it was millions. Like yeah, this was millions and millions and millions of time, right? So when they moved it, they wiped all of that time out. So it isn't even about the money. It's about the time in the literal sense and also the, the staking sense.
God, I didn't even think about the time thing, man.
Yeah, even if I wanted to, I can't just go buy the time back. It's not for sale. It's not something you can buy.
Like the roughly, even if it was like, let's say it's what, $3,000, $4,000, $20,000. Fuck it, who cares? Mm-hmm. The time thing sucks so much.
There's no amount of money. Yeah, there's no amount of money I can throw at it to just get my time back.
Because you can't unfuck that. Like if you have enough money, you can buy whatever you lose back and whatever, still be right where you're at. But you can't unfuck the time.
Because there's only 460 something million dragons that exist, that ever will exist. So it isn't even like I can just go buy like 1 billion dragons to generate time back really quickly, even if I wanted to, because just that many don't exist. There's not that many for sale. The price
is so far down. I should go buy all your freaking dragons back.
Do it. Go buy them.
I don't have any money. I'm not buying it back from those bastards.
Yeah. Well, no, they don't have them anymore. They sold them. They liquidated them. That's why right now the price of dragon is so low. Is because
they did that quick too.
They didn't give a fuck. They just wanted the ether. They just wanted the
for ETH.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's what's up with that. And that's why it's such a big hit.
Blows. Well, I'm going to really quick run downstairs and grab myself another beverage, and then I have something interesting to show you, and then we can bullshit about some other stuff. Oh, yeah, that's normal. That's well, welcome to my life. That's how it goes.
Oh, we got Memory coming back. Memory Man.
He succeeded.
Mr. Memory.
Yeah.
All right. Are you on your new memory?
Yeah, dude. I got a lot more thoughts now.
Hell yeah. See, it was easy. Easy peasy. Fosh easy.
Congratulations, you're a computer technician. I'll be right back.
Hey,
I
it
said
says,
you are A+ certified. What does it say now?
It says 16 gigs installed.
That's what you want. That's what you want.
16. Okay. Want to
That's
make
how many
sure.
you paid for.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try opening up something and see if it opens.
You got to try to use it up.
Well, like so whenever all right, so whenever I open like a Dota 2, which is just like a big video game, right? It just I get like a lot of fucking problems. It'll like what is it? What's the of it like not being responsive, right? For a second. When I'm in the game, I'm usually fine, but like before it and stuff like that, just opening it, it kind of freaks the fuck out. So hoping it gets better now.
I don't know if so. Here's what memory is good for. Basically, you get all your stuff that's basically in cold storage on your hard drive, and then to use any of it, you have to move it from your hard drive into memory, into your RAM. And whenever you're using it from RAM, and RAM's super fast. Moving it into RAM though isn't going to be any faster. So usually opening something up for the first time is not going to be any faster. But you can hold more stuff in RAM, and if your RAM is not full, then your computer is going to have to do fewer swaps. Like if you run out of space, if you want to use something in RAM but there's no space, it has to move some shit that it's not using back to your hard drive.
Yeah. So
But if
like
you got more RAM, it doesn't have to do that so often. It can just keep more shit open at the same time.
I was running at like 90% like capacity or something.
Right.
So it is probably like
So it's
if I
going to be
had,
swapping.
like, yeah.
It's going to be like, oh, I'm almost out. I better move some shit back to the hard drive that I'm not using. And so your computer's doing that a lot instead of what you want to do.
Yeah. Because like, and I would have like noticeable differences if I just like had Spotify open, you know, like
Yeah.
it was crazy. It honestly seems to be much better already.
It should. If you were hitting 90%, then that's the point where like it's going to be an issue. So you should probably feel better. Yeah. You're still going to take time to open stuff because just moving from your hard drive into memory when you open it up, but you can have more shit going on at the same time without it freaking out.
Yeah. Cool. Look at me. I'm a real boy.
Boom.
Yeah.
Shakalaka.
Do you know when World Blockchain's moving to afternoons?
I don't know. That's the rumor.
Didn't we
That'd be cool. I could make it back because I can't do the daytime stuff anymore.
Yeah.
I'm a corpo. When I was playing Cyberpunk, that was the one role that I refused to do. I didn't want to be a stinking corpo. But look at me now. I am one.
October theme results. Yeah, because like because of like the move and everything else, it's been crazy just trying to like be able to get on the show. And then when I had COVID, crazy. It was tiring. And then like not having you there to like, I don't know, somehow like mentally it reminds me one having this show that I have a show the next day. And then like I need to put together some like I haven't done like a video in a long time or anything and like put together or anything interesting for the show. So I feel like I need to.
Man, I wish I could make it tomorrow. I don't think I can. Tomorrow, you know what tomorrow's about? Digital asset custody insurance.
I'll share your story, but just do it really poorly.
Yeah, well, it'll be quicker that way.
Or I could take the stream from today and then put it on the show tomorrow.
Just cut out the part where I'm like crying about being defrauded.
Honestly, if you want. Oh man, honestly, is oh my god.
You can like chop up like a bunch, make it like. Can you do that? Can you be like, okay, this part, like make it to where the continuity still works. But it's like, and then I fucking clicked the button. But the website looked nice, and I was expecting it. And I'm not trying to spread the blame out. It's my fault. And I clicked the fucking button, and and then, and it's just like da 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 da. But it's like 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, I can. That's a lot of time, energy, and effort for something that you could just record again in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
write
there is
write
that,
out
yeah.
a paragraph and just record yourself saying it into your cam and then send it to me and I'll make a little video for it. Yeah, oh my god, it's already like so much faster. This is insane.
Good.
Like
Good.
it's
Yellow.
This is how it felt when I first I don't know.
Yeah, your computer's doing what you want it to do instead of focusing on swapping things back and forth between memory and your hard drive to try to keep it running.
Did 16 gigs give you a little kick in the pants there?
Oh, because I went from 8. So yeah, I like doubled it.
Yeah, 16 is pretty good.
It's very nice.
Yeah, that should help quite a bit.
So
I was keeping my eye out for like a decent board.
We have October themes. The fourth one's going to be freestyle because there was only 3. But
ooh, dark web,
dictatorship as a threat. This one's a long title. It may need some interpretation, and then not financial advice. That one could be fun.
Dictatorship of the majority, as in like having 25-ish people that control the world could be a problem there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes total sense. But yeah, I could see how that might need to get shortened just a skosh.
To me, that basically is just saying centralization as a threat to decentralization.
Centralization, man.
Centralization of power. I'm going to have to at least make sure I throw some good questions into the dark web one.
Because it's an interesting thing. Web.
I need to make sure I do that for every episode, especially if I can't be there.
How are we going to research the dark web? Are we going to go scour through load up a copy of Tales and go scour through the internet?
No, you just got to go to Wikipedia.
Nice.
.org. So the history of Tor is really interesting. It was developed by the Naval Research Lab, the U.S. government, and then they
I was unaware of that.
Yeah, U.S. Naval Research Lab, and they needed a way to basically allow forward operating agents.
Did you invent Tor?
No.
Damn it!
I didn't join the Navy until 2003.
I was close.
So then,
you gotta give me points for remembering that.
Yep. So they needed a way, basically, for secret agents operating in hostile territory where there's high surveillance to be able to phone home, to be able to send files back and forth, to be able to communicate without being tracked, without being found out. And so Tor was developed basically to anonymize your internet traffic so nobody could tell what you were doing on the internet. And the only way that that's able to work is if there is a fuck ton of other people using it so that all of your traffic gets mixed together. That's the only way it can reasonably work. So they open sourced it so that anyone could use it. And now a lot of people use it for a lot of different things, including federal agents who need to hide their activity, right? So it literally saves lives, no matter how much bad rap it gets for people using it for buying drugs and all kinds of weird bullshit that people do because humans are disgusting. It literally saves lives in addition to whatever stigma it might have attached to it. So it's an interesting history. It's an interesting thing. So I would say I'm not super keen on promoting Wikipedia, but I will say it's a good place to start if you want to figure out why dark web is interesting, because it was created by tax dollars.
What if we just ask the robot overlord that is ChatGPT to explain the dark web to us?
Could do that too. Could do that.
Honestly, that's what I do with a lot of things these days, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know.
God, she helps me with Linux problems so much.
So there's other things that are the
I had
dark
an
web
issue
too. It's not
compiling
just Tor,
something
but that's a different
the other day, and
story
she just
for a different
fixed it
day.
for me.
Your Chat GPT?
Yeah, I went ahead and said, Dave was like, bruh, pay for the fucking $20 a month thing, and it's like you have the Star Trek computer in your pocket as like your assistant. And it
The
really
paid version is so much better.
Like I don't use Google anywhere near as much as I used to. I will physically sit there. I have I barely ever have to compile stuff from scratch in Linux, right? So because it's such a widespread environment these days. There's packages for most shit. So I needed a thing called the Grub Customizer for a customer the other day, and apparently there was a bug with one of the versions, and it wasn't in the package manager, right? So, he thinks you look good.
Because
it's
of the
because of the better RAM. Yeah,
it's because
higher frame rate.
Yeah, higher frame rates, better human eyeball frame rates. So, oh God, where the hell was I going? Oh, right, the thing with the ChatGPT shit. So I had to compile this thing from source, and every time I try to use a make command or a cmake command, it always throws some kind of a goddamn error. I never know how to Google that error.
You don't have all the packages. Yeah.
Like I need to be able to like ask a computer a question sometimes in just plain English, and it's impossible until like now. And I didn't think it was really going to be possible, but I just like I fed the package error to it, and it was like, yo, you're missing this. Run this real quick. And I did that, and then everything was fine. So it's honestly, it's made me at least $150 so far. And I believe that it will easily continue to make me a fair amount of cash. Just in terms
You're wearing the right shirt for it.
Oh yeah, I'd like computer. Please give me, information on this. Hold on, I'm even a captain. I didn't realize it was I thought it was just a red shirt. I didn't know it was a command shirt. I'm even a captain. Hell yeah. Fun fact: the computer voice from Star Trek is Gene Roddenberry's wife, who is the guy that created Star Trek.
Oh no shit!
She is also the lady that in the original series is Nurse Christine. That's always in there with the doc, and she voices the computer all the way through the Next Generation.
One of my favorite to make a complete 90-degree turn on this conversation. One of my favorite things in the conspiracy theory world is Star Trek and Gene Roddenberry and aliens that maintain an orbital base around Saturn.
What?
Right?
I have never heard this one. Please do tell.
Real shit, right? There's a popular theory. Okay, as popular as I read about it. Right?
Flat Earth exists. We can call it. Flat Earth is a theory. We can call it a popular theory.
So there's an alien ambassador style, like visiting our solar system base that's in orbit around Saturn, and they visited Gene Roddenberry, and a lot of the ideas for Star Trek actually came through them as a way for them to plant ideas into the heads of humans to sort of like get us used to the idea of aliens and interplanetary cooperation and things like that. So we're not ready for it yet. So they gave him all these like ideas to make into scripts to show us like how it could be.
I don't hate this theory.
To prepare us for the sort of like thing that they want to do.
Now, I will say
thing about it.
The original series of Star Trek has excellent aliens. It really does. Everybody makes jokes about Klingons just looking like Asian people because they just look like Asian people. But they have like the Andorians with like the cool alien antennas. They did really good in the original series for aliens. I don't think that aliens told us how to write a fucking episode of the show where you go back and like have a planet that accidentally uses like 20th century gangsters as like the way they run their whole solar system. I don't know.
No, I never read that every episode was from them. I read that the premise and the general thing was
to be a thing though, like a planet run like a piece of the action is such a good episode of Star Trek.
I don't know what I don't know what the
I don't
law
either.
of one channeling.
I was really hoping
is.
that one of you guys did. So when I went, I wouldn't look like an idiot. But
Now
thanks
you
for that.
do. Yeah.
Now I look stupid. I have no idea either.
Please elaborate, Sinfully
Tell us.
Cerebral. What is this?
Show up on the show and talk to us about it. We love you.
Or just put it in chat, whatever you want. Or just put it as a reply, and I'll read it later.
This is what you
But
get
I'm interested.
for voting for an evening show. You get
There's
half
actually,
me.
if you scour through like Red Pill layer, which good luck. There's a YouTube video posted in there. This is where I learned about it. Was actually in the Red Pill layer on Den.
That's fucking awesome.
Where somebody posted a video of somebody like laying out, here's what's going down, and there's the orbital satellite station.
I would love for Gene Roddenberry to be like the one that was chosen to be the planet ambassador.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what it is. Yeah.
You know what pisses me off? All right, I just gotta go
It's
to
not my
Star Trek rant.
it's not my least favorite theory. You know,
I gotta go to mild Star Trek rant. So we have so many different Star Trek series at this point, right? It's like problems with some of them, but like I even think the new ones are pretty good. Like Discovery's really good as far as I'm concerned and things like that. Gene Roddenberry has a whole bunch of floppy disks, well, did before he died, that contain information about what happened between because we have like the first Enterprise, then the Enterprise A, then there's a B, and then there's a C. And during the C is like a crazy Civil War thing happening, right? There's like 60 episodes written in that time frame, and nobody will just make them. And
so there's a whole there's like a
whole chunk of lore from the OG Star Trek creator.
Is someone keeping it secret? Like,
I don't think so. I just, for some reason,
is someone like the Courtney Love of Star Trek who's trying to keep the tapes and not release them until?
Have you ever heard that Narcissus Cookbook song? Freaking Courtney did it. It's a song about how Courtney Love killed Kurt Cobain and how we're shitty to her, but she probably did it.
No, I've never seen that. So we have answers. The Law of One is a huge metaphysical subculture that's on the rise recently. Apparently, a few people use techniques to allow this woman to channel an alien god thing that was at war with another alien.
The
god thing tried to take over Earth through spreading information through dreams and whatnot. I tell you what, if you make a post about that,
please,
I will tip you 256 matter.
Chains he has.
And we'll
all the ones. I'll tip you all the dragons that are in my oldest wallet that holds dragons, which is 0.
I honestly, if you write a really cool write up on that, we should talk about it next week when we're here. Just because that would be.
No, I legit got a bounty on it. I got 256 matter on it.
Nice. What was I gonna say too?
Guaranteed.
Yeah. So this just reminded me. I've been listening to a friend of mine from college, who's an attorney for the U.S. government, financial sectors. He started a podcast that's like a play. It's like a D&D kind of style live like play podcast. And I've been listening to it. I'm like, this is nice. This is good. Like, great job. Like, that's a lot of time, energy, and effort to record a podcast and edit it and do all that kind of stuff. And it makes me miss DMing or at least playing D&D. So if you guys want to like start actually,
he really wants to play Dungeons and Dragons with us. Is what he's getting at.
And like, I think too is like I kind of like so D&D was really like my intro into improv was D&D. And I'm like, man, I kind of miss some of the aspects of it.
Awesome concept though, because you're coming up with shit off the top of your head so quick
and having to do all these different voices and characters and running plot lines through my head. I'm like, I kind of miss doing it. So I kind of was like, I kind of want to do a low stakes D&D.
Jackie'd be down too. Like, I think that'd be a fun.
So I'm trying to organize my life.
Yeah, give them like 2 weeks.
And so my plan is to shove everything possible into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday.
Yeah.
And so
I do a Thursday evening show too if we wanted to do a D&D night.
Right. So I'm doing this Wednesday evening. Every other Thursday I'm doing a Den.Dal call, but that's only usually like an hour at 7 p.m.
I think they're gonna move. I think they're gonna end up trying to move blockchain to Thursday afternoons.
Okay.
So that's what the chat's saying.
So Tuesday afternoon, evening, I could make it a game night. That could be my recurring game night that I can like basically like, okay, I'm doing this Tuesday evening. It doesn't, if I leave open like Friday through Monday, I have the weekend guaranteed. And if there's ever a long weekend, that doesn't interfere. So I could do it Tuesday evening and make it a recurring, like I make it a point to stick to a game night, which I would love to do.
I think that'd be cool. Tuesdays for me are I usually have like practices on Tuesdays. So we'll see.
Okay.
If I can like keep that commitment, because that's like a big practice day.
So maybe not that. Maybe
my evenings don't mean a damn thing to me.
What if
so
we
whatever
did
day is
like?
fine.
What if we did every other week on Wednesdays? So one week we do coffee with them, and then the next week we do D&D.
That's actually not a bad idea at all.
Can we please convince I am to play with us? I know he sometimes isn't able to jump on, but like he would be a blast with D&D.
That's actually
he comes up with.
That would be an upgrade to this show too, because usually we're just like talking about whatever we want to hang. We're just hanging out. We're just being friends, hanging out, talking to each other. So that would actually be an interesting, like, we could do that.
Especially with all of us in different fucking states now. You know, like.
Oh, that's so gross. We're all literally in different states now.
Like, and this is not something that you could do in person. So we could do that. And then like, if I am wants to do it, I was gonna say like even like Jared and Justin, if they wanted to jump in it, or
Cerebral's down.
Or hey,
it would be interesting.
Fuck yeah!
No, just even as a spectator, he's down to watch us, like, because it is interesting to watch people like basically improv on a game like that.
And I love seeing how creative people can be with stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, you figure out so much shit about someone's psyche with how much crap they come up with for D&D matches.
And I'm happy to go back to doing like the cyberpunk crypto world. If we want,
we can finish that up. We can finish that like plan. We had it like 20% done.
Which
I
is
play
not
a lot of Starfield, so I've got. This
is not a big percent. Yeah.
I'm like also like what I would love to do is find ways to incorporate like people in the chat. So like it'd be like, I need a name for a character, or like, hey, you roll the dice for this, or make the decision, or hey, chat gets to decide what happens to you because you rolled
That'd be
one.
so fun.
That would be great, actually.
Hey, here's 3 options. Chat decides how you're fucked.
How dead are we? Like, are we fighting the dragon, or do we get to hopefully get around the damn thing?
So
I think that's the best idea. I think we do it every other Wednesday or some sort of recurring pattern like that.
I'm also happy to play because I know Greg had a person that DMs for him. That's really
so Greg
Austin works or something.
Yeah. So Greg is, if we schedule it out with Greg, he'll be there.
And like that way, it's only it's every other week and not ever like.
But we have to remind him every week.
That's fine.
We have to be like, we have to send him a recurring like reminder that pops up on some device that he has a notification on.
Like Rivet Greg?
Yeah. 100%.
I love that guy.
I know how that is, man. If it's not my
never been to chat with that man, but he's one of my favorite people on World Blockchain.
Reliably, he'll be there as long as he's like, oh yeah, right. Let me just put that on my calendar. He's a calendar-driven kind of guy.
I think that's what happened and why I missed a lot of the World Blockchain stuff is because 1, I was sick and would oversleep because I was sick, and then 2, I think I had it like in my calendar for a year, and I've now been doing this shit for over a year. So all those calendar events aren't there anymore.
They're expired.
That might have been it. Because I'm like, man, I haven't seen a reminder for Coffee with Dan or World Blockchain in a long time.
So you know exactly how it is. Yeah. So
I texted Dave this morning because I was like, dude, I completely thought I forgot about the show this morning, but I forgot we moved it to the evenings. I saw it was Wednesday and it was like 10 o'clock, and I was like, son of a bitch.
I remembered at like 6:30 today, thinking it was at 7, and then like there was a girl I dated, and I was super bad at knowing what I was doing, because at the time I was running like the improv theater and doing all this other shit, and I was like had a band and was cooking dinners and doing all this shit, and she was not a last minute plans kind of person, so it wound up being like, if I have it in my calendar, it's true, and if it's not there, it's me springing something on her. So if I ever had an idea of a thing I wanted to do, I would put it in my calendar. Like, this one's tentative, but it's in there, so it counts. Luckily, Dakota's not a crazy person. She can roll with the punches a little bit more. With
You got to be flexible with people like us.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say real quick, there was a question that I don't want to forget about. That's not the one. What layer should I put it in? So it's my fault that the new layer winner, the layers that won the most recent LCP, are not there yet. I want to put that out there. I was going to make them this evening, but I'm not going to at this point. I have a rule about not doing things when I'm drunk, so I'm not going to do that.
Like,
yeah, not a good plan.
Yeah, so I have to trigger them correctly. So tomorrow, question mark? Yes, tomorrow I'll have them up. The reason I say that is there were 2 different layers that were purchased, as there's like a runners up category where you can pay some matter to pay for layers that didn't quite make the cut. So the winners this month were the vegan layer and the, do I have it open still? What won this month? It was vegan and
the vegan layer one.
Something else. And then also the 2024 election layer, someone paid to the runner-up fee to create that. So that'll go up this month. And to answer the question, there's a layer called complete tasks and earned that's going to go up this month. So I think that since I'm offering to pay you to publish this, that can be written and published in the new complete tasks to earn layer that's going to be coming up.
That makes sense.
And then from there, it can also be posted in other layers. Maybe Red Pill, maybe we have a metaphysics, philosophy, space tech, wherever you think. But that's where you should put it. So write it somewhere else. I like to write things in Joplin because it's a markdown editor. But that's basically just write it somewhere else and then copy paste it into the new complete tasks and earn layer once you see it pop up. That's what I think.
That'll be cool. Did you see that there's a crazy scam going on right now? Speaking of ChatGPT.
Speaking of scams.
Speaking of scams, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Tied into your scams. There is a thing that's been happening lately where people are taking, like, you get cold called out of the blue and shit like that. You pick it up and you say, hello, fuck you. You mess with them, all that shit. So what they're doing, some of them are, they're basically taking that and they're recording your voice and they're throwing it into an AI and they're building like a voice model around it. So they can then call like your grandma and say like, I'm going to fucking murder your grandson. And they'll like play an audio clip of you going, help me in the background. And they'll like type out of you.
They always go after old people. What the fuck?
Dude, there's a lady that had this happen recently. She was in a Walmart when she got this call. And like, she was obviously freaking the fuck out about it. And other people were like, this seems weird. And like, got her to realize something was off here. But apparently that's becoming a thing, which is kind of terrifying because you have to be like a targeted person at that point. Like, that's a lot of effort.
So I said I have a housemate at the place I'm staying right now. He actually, so he's from what I understand, he's I think he's a PhD student who is studying robocalls, the thing you're talking about.
Oh, hell yeah. That's awesome.
And studying the sort of evolution of how they're getting more sophisticated and stuff. So that's something specifically that they're like, that is in that field. I bet he'd be interested to, he probably already knows about it. Like, it's his field that he's studying for, right? So I'm sure he already knows about it.
Is that shit not crazy, though, that we're hitting a point where people are actually
I don't.
having like their hearts tugged on so hard at that point.
I actually don't know if he is a PhD or if he is a PhD student. I just know that he's here to work with the university, the local university, on that kind of stuff. So
Just go get him. He's around the corner or some shit, right?
hey, click the link, join the
Hey, come
call.
over here. Get in here, random guy I met like 2 weeks ago in Carolina. You know, fuck it, get over here.
I'll have to mention that to him though, because he'd probably be interested to talk about it.
Yeah, tell me about that one. That was one I was reading about the other day, and somebody came in and they had something similar along those lines happen to them, and they lost like $5,000 and shit.
That's
like
terrible.
That. Good Lord, man.
I can see it though, because if you can make a like this, that's pretty new and pretty recent, and like you said, targeted. But if you
Yeah,
can
it's
make
one of those things where like I'm aware of this crap, right? Like we're smart. I don't mean that in a shitty way, but like we know that this stuff is a thing. If I got a call out of the blue that's like, "Hey, I got your buddy Dave here, and he's got like a gun to his head," and I heard you in the background being like, "Help me! Oh my god!" I don't know what I'd do. Like I'd be like, "Is this a scam? Do I fuck
and
up
you
and get
can't even
shot?"
like you used to be able to say, send me proof, send me a picture of them holding today's newspaper.
Yeah,
right?
but now they could
That
do
used to
that.
be enough. But you can fake that now. You can just be like, hey, AI, make a picture of this guy holding today's newspaper.
I've just started answering every single phone call that's an unknown number with fucking kill the hostage, I don't care. And, you know, that seems to work.
So if I'm ever held hostage, I'll make sure not to call.
Yeah, don't call me because if it's an unknown number, I'll just like, kill them, I don't care. But I think about it because I'm like, how could somebody fall for that stuff? But then it's like, man, if I put myself in the position, how do you even not, especially with me being like, I overthink everything. Like not overthinking that being an actual possibility. I'd freak out for like 6 days.
Yeah,
we'll see where the future leads us. So what do you, we'll talk about this more later, John, but what is the timeline where you think that we could be ready to implement some sort of every other Wednesday game night?
Oh, John's got to get on this shit. That's next Wednesday.
I could do.
And what kind of support do you need? What can I do to help you like develop that into a thing?
I'll offer to help you, but I work my butt off, so God only knows.
No, you're good. I think the only I think really what I need help with is just knowing how big we want to make it and stuff like that. Like how much energy, effort, and work I should put into it. Because like, you know, we can make it as big as like, here's a fucking website where you can with detailed information about each character and like a picture and all that kind of shit and follow along. Here's where you interact
make
with
my
us.
space scoundrel.
Right? Or we can be like, yo, this is just for fun. If you like it, that's cool. Here's a picture. Here's maybe what our character sheets look like. Because doing all like the D&D side of it is easy, fun, and enjoyable for me. But really, it's something I know how to do. But
we can also use like the tabletop gaming layer because I know we have the tabletop gaming layer here too, right?
I mean, it doesn't.
Well, yeah, we can do any of that, but it
doesn't matter.
But ultimately, like using the tabletop layer would be the same as like saying, and this is sort of how I think of layers anyway, I guess. But when you go to a website, you go to linuxquestions.org or you go to any like niche website, they have their own forum for that thing. That's basically what a layer is your forum, like for your thing.
Yeah, so we don't really need it. Like the only thing that I think would be cool to have is like basically like a Wikipedia, you know, a wiki that has like, hey, we mentioned this city. This is the city, and here is the information we know about it.
I know how to make that.
Done. We'll have like a whole lore built around our whole adventure.
I've actually maintained a wiki before. I know how to do that.
So yeah, like and like that's the I mean the thing with that is that just takes time because you got to go type in all the fucking bullshit. And you got to take notes.
Like, but the cool thing about a wiki is anybody can do it.
And you can probably also do it while we're playing. So like, here's new information, and you type it in. So instead of because like with normally,
or simply Cerebral can be like watching in chat, and then like, oh, they did this, and this is now something that happened, and so I'm going to add this to the. I'm going to add this to the character.
Official,
you can take minutes, dude.
he's the official like lore keeper of the adventure.
Lore master.
The lore master. I like that.
So, okay, I will have. So next week, I'm physically moving a bunch of stuff across from Florida to North Carolina.
Just a few states.
And it'll take me a minute or two to get situated. We got rid of a bunch of furniture, so we got to get new furniture. Like, we're going to have to do more shit for a while. So I would say we could do this. We could start this in like 3 or 4 weeks. I wouldn't do it sooner than that. I would do it at least 3 or 4 weeks out to where I can be situated.
Let's call it next month. Like, sometime next month we start it.
I think like if we do that, we'll do the same thing that we did last time, which is never start. So if we gave it like this the day we're starting, and what we could do is be like, okay, not next week, but the week after, we'll just do like a check-in. So it'll be like centered around the idea, and just like kind of like, oh, what do we want in this world? Who are the players? Like, and we'll just stream like our first brainstorming meeting. Something I like to do too, is I will ask people like, what do they like about tabletop gaming? Like, what do they like about that? What are their favorite characters? What are their favorite tropes? Because I want to be able to lean in more to the things that are more enjoyable for the players, right? As opposed to just like, this is what I want, here it is. I'm not the biggest. So I love the D&D world, and I think if there's guns and stuff, that's kind of boring. But like, that's not what most people. That's not like what like Dave and I know Greg are gonna want. I know they're gonna want like fucking guns and gadgets.
I like space swords.
Guns and gadgets.
Yeah,
I like space swords.
You know what I mean? But like, exactly. So like, other people are gonna like other things. So I know to play to those strengths. So like, having a meeting where we just like, I got a list of questions and we're gonna talk about it for an hour, and I'm just gonna ask like, and by talk about it for an hour is I'll have probably like 7 to 10 questions that it'll take us an hour to get through because we'll be bullshitting. So like, if we wanted to do something like that 2 weeks from now, we could.
So
that would be fun. Like, because you wouldn't need to, because like arguably Dave doesn't need furniture to be able to set up his character.
I mean,
that actually works.
Character. I'm just asking you to be like, what do you like about sci-fi?
Yeah. So here's how I see that working out. Let me know if this makes sense to you.
Yeah.
Next week, we should not have a show because I'm not going to be available.
Yeah.
And so in 2 weeks, we should have that. We should reconvene, and we should do that. We should make it a prep show.
Yeah, it's clever.
For starting in every other week. So that could be our first week as far as the calendar is concerned of our game night. And we don't have a game ready yet. So that first game night would be us prepping for the game and getting it together and that kind of thing.
And and the questions I'm going to ask is like, we're going to figure out what kind of class you want to be. Right? Like, what do you want to be able to do in this world? So that way I can build a class that lets you do those things. Like, I'm listening to a podcast right now about with this stuff, and it's like they built classes so that people could do the things that they wanted to do, but I feel like it really inhibited who they are within like their normal personality, because I know these people outside of the podcast. So I'm like, this person's super funny and witty. Why did you make them Spock?
Right. Okay. So you're making classes for people based on you want to make classes for people based on to play to their strengths.
Yeah. So like, and I don't think she's gonna enjoy being somebody who like that doesn't have opinions, that can't like express their opinions. Like that's the character she's playing. You know, like I mean, there's a lot of things. So like sitting down and going, what do we want our team to look like? and what do we want? Yeah, like that kind of stuff. So
I'm
that
gonna
way,
overthink the hell out of this.
great. So well, that's what that's for. Is so then we can sit down and I don't go make a character sheet, right?
Yeah.
We sit down and we go, wait, what do you want to accomplish, and how do you like to accomplish those things? Great. This is what your character is going to go look like. Now you can go make a character sheet.
And I'll make sure to invite Greg to that.
Yeah. And
That'd be
then
a blast.
that'll be 3 people. So I think we could throw one more in there. I think 4 is a nice number for a party. So I don't know if Austin, his friend, wants to do it, or if anybody's significant other wants to do it, or something like that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Yeah,
Jackie's
he's more
down,
terrified of the
see-
camera. Jackie's terrified of this camera, so there's not a chance.
That's true. Did you ever meet?
What's
Let's
Jim
get
doing
Tina
on
to do it.
Wednesday nights?
Oh, that's actually a clever idea.
Right?
Do
I wonder
what?
what she's up to. My sister actually
Oh,
would be a really good person for this.
I mean, it's not Diablo 3, but it could be fun.
And she absolutely adores Dave, so like, you know, she'll do
Well,
pretty
it's
much
been a
anything
while,
he
so
asks.
the charm may have worn off by now.
Oh, no, absolutely. You managed to accidentally charm her so good that she still, anytime I talk about her to you, I'm just like, oh, I saw Dave. She goes, oh, Dave. Like every
Doing
time.
good. She can join the party. That sounds great.
She'd have a blast with that. That'd be so much fun.
And then there's always like Jared if he wants to do it. So because like
Yeah, if they think they can be available every other Wednesday, then yeah, fantastic.
I think 2 weeks out of a month isn't like a crazy commitment either. And then let's
Yeah,
see.
that's not too bad.
So yeah,
For me, it's something that I have decided that I need in my life. Is I need
Yeah.
to have like a game night. I need to have like something where I can meet up with people, with my friends that are into some of the same shit, and hang out and do basically improv. Is what I feel like you
Just
said.
dick
kinda
about
get-
for like 2 hours.
This is what you said was the precursor to your improv, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's wild to think about, though. That was like your improv precursor was doing
Yeah.
D&D stuff.
it was getting drunk and playing D&D. I lived. I got to go to.
Yeah, me too. It's
hang out
fine.
with the wife and stuff.
Nah,
But,
we're right at the end. We're good.
But like yeah, like I was in college, like 19 years old, and I was living with like my big brother in the fraternity, and we would every Friday we would just hang out and play D&D, and we would order like 4 Domino's pizzas, and that's when I learned the best pizza toppings they would do bacon, pineapple, and jalapeno.
I'm
I
a
can see
fan
it.
of pizza with pineapple. So
it's pineapple plus the jalapenos to get that sweet and spicy. So
I can see it. Yeah. The bacon has got your savory,
fatness
sweet,
to it,
savory,
yeah.
spicy.
yeah,
Sweet,
and then-
savory, spicy. It's got all the things.
yeah,
It's a
and
good
then-
drunk with your buddy's food.
Yeah, and then we drink beer and whiskey until I had to go back to the efficiency he had in the backyard. So like I just had like an apartment in the backyard, and it was amazing. But yeah, so we can work on that. That sounds great.
Wasn't very far to stumble out to.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, not that bad at all.
It was great. But yeah,
Well, that
right.
note, you know, we should
I think
probably
we have a
wrap.
plan. We're not going to do this next week. And then the plan will be in 2 weeks. I will have just barely moved into my new house, but my computer will be here. So I'll have a better camera and a better microphone, and I'll have some sort of table to set up on. And we can then actually do some work on designing something to have fun with.
just make sure you got Wi-Fi, and you'll be good.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
dude.
internet. We already sorted
Dude.
that. Oh, it's ridiculous.
Dude, one of the benefits
How
of
about your
competition
Wi-Fi?
and it's not even about the Wi-Fi. Everybody calls it Wi-Fi now. It's the internet. One of the benefits of being in the research triangle where there's competition among networks is I get a fiber symmetrical gigabit connection for $80. It's a gigabit up and down. The download speed's not as impressive as the upload speed,
Yeah,
meaning like I've got high bandwidth upload. I can serve shit. I can do the things that I want to do fastly. That's all. It's amazing. Basically, it's 10 times better than what I'm paying for in Gainesville, and it's half the price.
well, Gainesville's garbage, so that's understandable.
Right. That's what I just 10 times better, half the price. Yeah.
That is crazy that you're up. I don't know. Mine's not bad.
It's 960 up
That's insane.
for $80.
All right. Well, you can do all the fucking upload shit then.
Yeah, so I can host all the things. I can host the website. If we have a website, I got a server.
Yeah.
We'll host
I mean,
it
like,
from there.
I think like hosting, honestly, I think like having a website and like a wiki and stuff like that is really cool because then you have stuff for you to remember to go back to. And it's nice to have a little archive. And with how easy it is these days to just like, with like Wix and shit like that, just to like, here's my picture. I'm going to drop it on the page. Hey, I've got a digital character sheet. I'm going to put it on the page. Like,
oh, I'll host the fuck out of some shit. I'll host it out of my bedroom. It'll be amazing.
all right.
And available in high bandwidth. And we can stream from there. And I've got all the uploads. All right. Yeah. So let's wrap, guys. We'll be back in a couple of weeks. We'll do some planning for a game night. Right, every other Wednesday. That sounds good. And any last words?
Oh God, spay and neuter your pets.
All right, spay and neuter them. Cut them up. Don't let them reproduce.
Stab them. No, don't stab your dog. It's bad.
In the balls.
Right in the balls.
If you're watching this, you should take an improv class from me.
You should.
I need to actually
if you need servers, if you need to upload some improv videos, I got a spot. You can host them.
Thanks. Yeah, I need to like I need to actually start making like an email list for stuff to send. I have enough people that ask me, "Hey, do you have like an email list or something?" I'm like, "Shit, I need to do that now."
You should really get on that.
Yeah. All right, sounds good. I don't have anything except that. Maybe I'll look better next time because I'll have my real camera back. But
you look gorgeous, darling, as always.
Hey, if you get some new
it's the beard, you know.
If you get some new RAM, maybe
that makes you look better too. Helps your frame rate.
Yeah.
I'm glad you managed to install RAM.
Today's been educational.
You're a real computer tech now.
Don't click on shit. Don't click on shit and add RAM. Exactly. That's the lessons.
Download more video memory.
Yeah, download more memory. All right. Bye, guys. Good night. Have a good one. Peace.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. A tactical approach is palpable if this animal is fallible, but that conclusion is laughable. So with for all detachable from the mandible, you see it now.